All right, Spring. Well, this is a theme this evening for Colorado sports. It wasn't pretty, but you got the job done. And that's exactly what happened in a 4-2 victory tonight for the Avs up at the Saddle Dome in Alberta over the Flames. 4-2 is the final. Parker Kelly has 2 goals in this game. Val Nichushkin gets an empty netter at the end for his 16th. And the Avs get an ever important 2 points on a night where they get help from the Winnipeg Jets, who hammer the Stars 4-1. That thing was over early on as the Jets beat Dallas this evening. And now they sit just 3 points behind the Stars, awaiting maybe the most anticipated regular season game that the Avs have had since they bounced back from the 48-point season and made the postseason when Eric Johnson scored the empty netter. The Sunday matchup against Mikko Rantanen and the Dallas Stars is everything. For me, it's the only thing I can think about, and it feels like may have been something that the Avs were thinking about tonight.
Well, unlike the Nuggets, who played Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, and some dudes, the Flames were mostly healthy. Like Connor Jerry is suspended. Whatever,
I
and
mean, you were
and
missing your captain, Michael Backlund.
Backlund was out. Calgary, hey, they're currently occupying that eighth and final wild card spot. It's funny because Colorado, they there was a point in the second period where they are out shooting the Flames 17-3, and then they go up 2-0 on Parker Kelly's first goal. And then the Flames, to start the third period, really maybe towards the end of the second, and then to start the third, they came out of that intermission guns a-blazing. They were ablaze. Forgive the Flames verbiage there. And I'm sitting there thinking, and they cut it to 2-1, and I'm thinking like, shit. Like, they look good. They're buzzing. The Avs were getting blitzed. I was about to tweet out something like, dude, bring in 2 tight ends. Get Javonte Williams for pass protection in here. You're getting blitzed. If you're not careful, you're going to go from out shooting these dudes 17-3. And I refrained myself. I wanted to tweet about, because I got to tweet about it. I wanted to tweet about that shot on goal differential, but I was like, no, don't tempt the gods. The second you point out that they're out shooting these jabronis 17-3 is the night that Calgary will win with 10 shots on goal when the Avs put up like 30-35 shots on goal. Now, Calgary ended up, erasing that shot on goal deficit, and they erased the goal deficit. They cut it in half. They made it 2-1, and then just one little forechecking play from Ross Colton feeding Parker Kelly in front of the net, and man, it's the Parker Kelly game. He's from Alberta. He's from a town that is a little northeast of Alberta, Canada. He had a bunch of family in attendance. In fact, I'll get you the town name. He's from Camrose, Canada.
Camrose.
And Camrose, that is not an athlete. That is a city that Parker Kelly is from. And man, for him to have that game tonight, he damn near had a hat trick. He took a Nathan MacKinnon sauce pass on a rush. MacKinnon on the left side, Kelly on the right side. Kelly got all of that, and Dustin Wolf, who might win the Calder this season, a damn good young goaltender, saves it with the knob of his stick. He was a knob of the stick away. Kelly put it in a great spot from getting a hat trick. But I love this for Parker Kelly. He starts the year as the fourth line center. He's fourth line center all year, and I like he grew on me. And then they make some moves at the deadline, and he's no longer 4C. Now he's playing on the wing. And I find that interesting because, they could have stuck with Miles Wood. They could play Jimmy Vesey, but they believe in Parker Kelly. He earned this spot. I think he earned it with his play this season. Nothing amazing, but good fourth line play. And he has the game of his career tonight.
Yeah, and Jared Bednar said it in his post-game presser spring that on nights where the top line doesn't quite have it, and that was tonight. They didn't quite have it. It's nice to have a bottom six that can keep you afloat. And that you're right. It's the Parker Kelly game. Not only did he have the opportunity to score on the Nathan McKinnon pass, he had the 2-on-1 where he tried to slide a pass through. He could have been a little bit selfish there. He decides to try and go on the 2-on-1, give a sauce pass, I want to say to a cutting Jack Drury, gets broken up, goes to the corner. He had multiple chances to complete a hat trick. It's his second multi-goal game. He is was he ever a center? I don't really know. He looks better and more effective as a winger now, and Jack Drury is clearly your fourth line center going into the postseason. I think Parker Kelly is a lock to be a playoff forward on this team. I don't think he's in the conversation of when everyone is healthy because the Avs had 4 healthy scratches tonight. We'll get to health in a minute. Josh Manson being evaluated for an upper body injury. He did not return to the game tonight. I don't think Parker Kelly is in the conversation for one of those healthy scratches. Like Miles Wood is in the conversation. Like, do you play him on a night-to-night basis? Joel Kiviranta, not in the conversation. He will be in this lineup. I'm trying to figure out how these other guys fit in, like how Jimmy Vesey gets into the lineup in the postseason. I don't see it. And that's a really good problem for the Avs to have. They never had this type of depth. It was amazing. I was going over the injury report before the game. They're healthy. Everyone on the team is healthy outside Gabe Landeskog, and now we don't know what's going on with Manson. But for all of their scratches this evening to be healthy scratches, when's the last time that happened?
Well, it's, Jimmy Vesey, he is who he is. He's on a true contender. He's probably a healthy scratch. The guy is Miles Wood. And I've talked a lot about the back injury that he was dealing with, and he came back from it, and he's been playing since. He had a setback from it at some point this season, so it's something that popped up again. He was out, comes back, and then it pops up again, and then he misses extended time. Man, you ever hurt your back? You ever tweaked your back? That sucks. I've done it. I hate it. So I get it, man. But look, Miles Wood, when he's healthy and right, he's a damn good fourth line winger, but maybe he's not right now. And in which case, okay, you have Parker Kelly. And shout out to Logan O'Connor on Kelly's first goal, talking about the wings on that fourth line. And, Logan O'Connor deserves one of those spots. And there's no chance that he wouldn't have one of those spots if he's healthy and right. He throws that little floater up into the neutral zone that Jonathan Huberdeau kind of has, but that puck is bouncing and he can't corral it. Boom, Parker Kelly streaking through, strips it. But I like that pass from OC. We saw Mitch Marner throw a similar lofted dump in that Leafs Avs game, and those are tricky. And the Leafs capitalized on it, led to a Marner goal. This one was a Kelly goal. So, that fourth line, and it was the bottom six. It wasn't just the fourth line. It was the bottom six tonight. They showed up. Yoel Kiviranta setting that screen.
He's a great hockey player, man. He's a really, really effective hockey player.
Yeah, there's a reason that he was the one who got the nod up to the third line. And he sets the screen on that Ryan Lindgren goal, the opening goal. Ross Colton has 2 assists tonight. Charlie Coyle was active and noticeable. Big body on that third line. So, yeah, production all over the place from the bottom 6. And then, hey, Ryan Lindgren, man, look, he does not look like a guy who's beat up. He skates well. He's active defensively. Right, the Avs knew what they were doing when they acquired Ryan Lindgren. This is a savvy organization, as we know. They would not have traded for Ryan Lindgren if they thought there were questions about his body. I'm not seeing it so far. He looks every bit the best version that we've seen of Ryan Lindgren when he was with the Rangers.
You know what the best part about tonight's hockey game was? When Jonathan Huberdeau scored a goal by getting hit in the face. It was the funniest part of the hockey game. He takes a half clapper from Rasmus Andersson off the side of the dome It jumps up into the air. Scott Wedgwood gets ran into by his own defenseman, and it careens into the goal. That was
Mm-hmm.
the funniest part of this hockey game. And I was trying to find a way to be like, is that goalie interference? Nope. It was just a weird, stupid, fluky play. Wedgwood was great, man. He had to be really good for them. You mentioned there was a point in the second period where the Avs were out shooting Calgary like 19-7. And you were just waiting for that extra goal, that back-breaking goal for Colorado that never quite came in the middle frame. But even when Calgary had 7 shots and then 8 shots and 9 shots and 10 shots, and still wasn't a large volume, I found that after the second period, 6 of the 11 shots on goal, high danger scoring opportunities. And Wedgwood had stopped all of them up until the point where Blake Coleman scores to start off the third period. He was really good. He was coming off of a shutout against Chicago. The game before that, he stopped 32 of 33 against Pittsburgh. And you said it a handful of shows ago. He evokes the same type of confidence in a backup netminder that you got for many years with Pavel Francouz.
Oh yeah, no, Wedgwood. He has this nice save in the first portion of the game where there's kind of a broken play that goes the other way and a little bouncing puck towards Ned, and Wedgie kind of just fights it off. But then in the third period, a couple of moments. One Wedgwood save where there was a look in the slot with bodies in front. I can't remember the Flames player who shot. It was a left-handed shot. But it gets through, and Wedgwood is screened, but he's just positionally sound, and he makes the save. That was his. Mosher said in that moment that's got to be his best save of the night, and it was. There was a moment before that though too, where another shot gets on Wedgwood. There's a little rebound out in front, and Rasmus Anderson is there, and there's a wide open net, and I'm thinking, there's your tying goal. That's going in. It's 2-2. And I think Devon Taves, I think he does in fact get the stick in enough on Anderson to keep that puck out. I really am crediting that to Devon Taves. I don't think that was Anderson whiffing. I think that was Taves making the play. So once again, I mean, you talk about a sound defenseman. And there were a couple shifts I noticed where Lindgren was playing with Taves. Dude, Lindgren and Taves together defensively.
It's a good one.
Those two, they're not the biggest dudes, but they are fundamentally sound defensively. I would and Bednar talked about it, with the forward lines and with the D pairs. And I think mostly we're seeing it so far with the D pairs, the mixing and matching ability that this depth is giving them to try new things out, especially, a month out from the playoffs. Their playoff position is secure. So try some things out. See if you can, find this or that works. And man, Lindgren and Taves, it's a couple left-handed shots, but my goodness, both those dudes out there together, those guys are tough. Those guys are going to be tough to move in front of net.
If they get to the point in the postseason where, like, God forbid, there's a couple of injuries that happen where you look at your talent on the blue line and you go, well, we can't afford to handcuff Kale and Devon Taves together because we don't have the requisite D on our third pairing to get it done. Like, you don't want to run into the issue that Dallas ran into in the second and third round last year, the third round last year, where you were only playing 5D men, and everyone knew that you were only playing 5D. It eventually came back to haunt them, and then Edmonton gets through the West and they get to the final. You can't be that team. So God forbid something happens. That does give you the ability to handcuff Cale Makar to a lesser player because Cale Makar will raise that other defenseman to some sort of an average level. And then you can put Lindgren and Taves together as your second pairing and kind of be a shutdown pair. And I'd be okay with it. I don't love playing a defenseman on his offhand. It scares the living crap out of me actually in the defensive zone in terms of being able to move pucks. Like, it's a real thing. Like, people think that, oh, you can swap guys on their forehands and their backhands. You can do it to an extent as a forward. As a D-man, you have to be so freaking good To play your offhand, I can't tell you how important it is to be able to play on your strong side, which means lefty on the left side
Yeah.
and righty on a right. If you have to do that, you can with Lindgren and Taves. I don't want them to, but I
Mhm.
think there was a little bit of proof of concept tonight. The same thing happened with the first line. Bednar realized the first line kind of sucked today. And you know what he did? He immediately blended it. He put Drouin up top with Nathan MacKinnon to give him a little bit of spark, and Drouin had some jump to him for a couple of
Mhm.
shifts there. I liked it. It was Drouin, Nichushkin, and Nathan MacKinnon at the same time on the ice a couple of times today. They're he's at the chalkboard right now. I think Jared Bednar is just like he's fucking around a little bit, which is I kind of love it. Like he's just saying like, all right, on any given day, can I try this? Can I try that? And if something works, he writes it down in his little notebook. And Jared Bednar has this little notebook where he records everything, every conversation that he's ever had, every note from every game. He's got this little notebook. All of these things are going into the notebook.
All right, let me and with what you just said, I'll put this comment from Kevin up here. Spring, did you say the Avs playoff position is secure? Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Considering the trade deadline moves
Yes.
they made, and one of the teams, chasing them for wild card position is the Calgary Flames, who they've beaten twice in a row in Calgary now. May have beaten them more than twice in a row. I only have the last two top of mind. I will do an episode of I will do the season finale show naked if the Avalanche miss the playoffs. You don't want to see that. I don't want to do that. You're not going to have to see that. I won't have to do that. The Avalanche will make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Minus 10,000 on the line. That's where it's at for the Avalanche to make the playoffs right now.
Yeah, they're 12 points clear of the final playoff spot right now, and they have what 15 games remaining. 12 points with 15 games. There's no way in hell that they're missing the playoffs. Like, no chance. The only thing that we're talking about right now is whether or not the Avs will be in the 3 seed or in the 2 seed. Like, that's literally the only thing. It's whether or not you play Dallas at home or you play Dallas on the road. That's the only thing. So I suppose like the playoff positioning could change. There is no chance in hell. There is no shot whatsoever that the Colorado Avalanche will miss the playoffs.
And that's why you can tinker with some things right now, here's Nug Life saying I said minus 10,000 last week, and I said that the Avs should be minus 1,000 favorites to beat the Blackhawks. And that's what happened. They beat the Blackhawks. Okay, so when I make a guarantee nowadays, it's true and through. I'm talking about beating the Blackhawks and making the playoffs. This is easy money. Okay, this is like playing a sixth grader in soccer right now. I should beat the ever living crap out of him. You know what I'm saying? These are easy money, free money bets.
We're saying easy things tonight too, and I saw Spring here. I'm at the studio, not back at my house, because I was doing network tonight. And Spring, obviously running Berto's Blitz, and Kreckman Lindahl is here into the late hours of the afternoon and the evening, as compared to me when I leave, midway through the day after the morning sprint. So I got to cross paths with Spring for a little bit today. Did I not call the score today?
Holy dude, you did.
4-2 with an empty net.
You called 4-2. I said, because we were talking like 10 minutes into the game, it was scoreless. And I was like, this is going to be like a 2-1 game, which it was at one point. And Raj said, no, I think the Avs win 4-2. I can confirm, hand to the heavens above me, on my heart, Alex Ryanemi called 4-2 Avs win tonight.
The receipts are it didn't happen, but my wife has barred me from sports gambling, so.
Well, I have my ears were proof. This is a thing that actually happened. Hey, you mentioned funny Jonathan Huberdeau moments on that first Parker Kelly goal where Huberdeau initially has that puck and Kelly kind of strips it for him. / Huberdeau loses it. It's a bouncing puck. Kelly talked about it at the intermission interview with I think it was Kyle Keefe, and he said, like, look, those bouncing pucks, they're kind of a toss-up as far as to whether or not Kelly himself would be able to corral it. He did. It was just his night, and then in one fluid motion, he goes top shelf. And Huberdeau breaks his stick on the crossbar. Just freaking torches that thing. So
Great feeling.
I found that to be rather comical as well. But speaking of Alberta natives, Calgary natives, I mean, it was the Parker Kelly night. For a second, I thought it was going to be the Cale Makar night.
Yeah,
When,
we got such an exciting moment tonight, and it just went.
but you know what? Cale has had so much and has done so much, and he is the best person in the world that he said, "No, Parker Kelly, this is your night. I don't need to steal your thunder or your shine. This is your night." That's how great of a teammate Cale Makar is. So Cale Makar got a penalty shot in this game, and this is a sick sequence because Cale makes the play defensively, stripping Sharangovich of the puck in the D zone, and he's hounding Sharangovich. You watch Cale on that play, like he's such an underrated defenseman. He's gotten bigger too. You know, he's coming to his man body now.
Did you
He
see
is
him
a
try? Did you see? I think it was the. I want to say it was the first period. Did you see him try and light up someone on the half wall? I can't remember when it was. Cale was coming up on the defensive half wall. There was a pinching Calgary player on the left side. It was to Wedgwood's blocker side on the half wall. And Cale tried to throw a delete you type of hip check, and he missed by like a foot. You're talking about him getting bigger and feeling bigger.
uh-huh.
If he had on Pospisil, yes, that's exactly who it was. On Pospisil, he missed by a millimeter from ending this guy's night.
Yeah, no, I mean we were talking about Taves and Lindgren, and Taves and Makar. Like it maybe used to be like Taves carried that defensively just a tick, but no, Kale's really starting to come into his own defensively, and he was already pretty damn good. But I'm talking like coming into his own. But he makes the strip. He then passes it quickly center ice to Natchez, and then look, this is great. This is how you know, and I know it wasn't the best night from the top line, but this is how you know the chemistry is starting to come together. Is Natchez knows he immediately senses Lehkonen flying on his left side, feeds Lehkonen, and Cale, Cale's Cale. He's gonna sprint all the way back towards the bend in the boards near that deep red line. He's going to sprint all the way up to the offensive zone blue line. And now Cale's activated offensively. And Lehkonen with a great little feed pass to find him. Cale gets in deep. He gets slashed. It's a penalty shot. Now, here's the thing. We just saw the shootout where the Avs lost in Minnesota. And this hemming and hawing on these shootout attempts, these penalty shots. Let me weave over here. Let me weave over there. And Cale does that. And by the time he gets to the front of the net, he has no idea what the fuck he wants to do. And he does basically nothing. I'm telling you, man, just go full balls steam ahead. Like it's Parker Kelly in-game action. When you're just going and you just got a split second to be like, bam, here's my decision. When I see these skaters go in and out and around and la-di-da, more times than not, they end up doing nothing.
You remember Brian Ralston of the Minnesota Wild? Long time. I believe he was the captain of Minnesota for many, many years. Brian Ralston, wore number 12.
Sure.
When the shootout became a thing after the lockout, Brian Ralston every now and again would whip out the shootout clapper. And you know what I want to see out of an Avs player the next time they're in a shootout? I want to see a shootout clapper. I want to see someone walk in and from between the tops of the circles and the top hash, just let one fucking rip. And if you miss the net, whatever. I would love to see that happen. Brendan goes, I'd imagine you'd rather want the power play. Not me. The percentages, I would rather take like one of the best players in the world on a one-on-one situation because I take away variables. Like in that situation as a coach, I want to remove the possibility of one, maybe a shot getting blocked and me getting scored on. I know for one thing, I can't get scored on a penalty shot. I would rather have, especially with very good players like Cale Makar, I'd rather have them go one-on-one. If it's a lesser player and I would have the opportunity, I'd maybe question it. More times than not, man, I'm just gonna take the penalty shot. It's a one-on-one situation. Just go score.
Well, I've been wanting, and maybe it's changed a little bit given some of the personnel change, but certainly in years past there would be, and this was a penalty shot tonight, but more often than not, you're going to see those attempts in the shootout nowadays after overtime. And I had wanted Kale to get a look over some of the guys that Jared Bednar would choose in the past. Now, and I'd have to go back and look, but Bednar would put give guys shootout opportunity. Like maybe it was like Vlad Nemesnikov, or maybe it was him who he was like no, it was Evan Rodriguez. Remember Evan Rodriguez?
Evan Rodriguez was really good.
He was like sneaky good in the shootout, but it only lasted for like a little bit. And there was and not even Erod, but some other guys where I'm like, really, just put Kale out there. I know he's a defenseman. Like we all remember the goal that he had in Chicago, the stick handling and going top shelf.
Well,
Like
he scored against statistically the best shootout goalie of all time is Andrei Vasilevsky. You remember the goal he scored against Andrei Vasilevsky? It was like, I think it was like 5 years ago he did it, but he danced Vasilevsky into the rafters.
Yeah, so I've always it's changed a little bit given their personnel. But I've always wanted Kale to get more of a look in the shootout. But I think Nathan MacKinnon is a great example, and I'm trying to look up his career numbers in shootouts. Now, I don't know if I trust this, but Google's instant result with an AI overview, like the first thing that comes up, says that he's 7 of 21 in his career,
That's not
which
bad. I'll
translates.
take that.
Anecdotally, though,
That's
I feel like
33%, dude. That's fit.
I
That's fine.
that is, but I'm not sure I trust that. I need to try. I need to, as a journalist, I need to triple check my sources.
I can triple check for you. I have access to some NHL.com stats that I will look this up for you right now.
Okay, yeah. Let me know Nathan MacKinnon's career shootout percentage, because anecdotally, just off my memory, and we saw Nathan MacKinnon with the shootout attempt the other night in Minnesota, and I didn't love the attempt. Too much stick handling, got too close to net, didn't give himself enough room and a good enough look. Too easy of a save for Philip Gustafson. And so just off my memory, I just feel like Nate isn't great in shootouts. But when he's on a breakaway in game, he is money. I mean, he buries that thing more often than not. When Nathan MacKinnon is head of steam, 100 miles an hour, and it's Alex Pietrangelo, oh boy, for the goaltender on the other end, Nate buries that thing more often than not. Yet when I see Nate in shootouts, and now look, maybe the numbers I saw on Google are correct, and my memory is doing a disservice to me. But when I see Nate in the shootout go wide and la-di-da, he fails more often than not. But when he's full steam ahead, putting the pressure on that goaltender, he buries that thing. So yeah, I'd like to see these players try that more in the shootout.
I'm trying to find these players because I'm going back many years here. Dating back to 2009 through today, the highest shootout shot percentage. So this is not including penalty shots, but shootout shooting percentage. Trevor Zegras has 13 goals on 20 shots for 65%. That's the highest in the NHL going back to the year 2010.
Well, and I've talked about Zegras in the shootout. He's if there was a Hall of Fame for the shootout, Zegras is first ballot.
MacKinnon isn't on the top 100. Makar isn't on the top 100. There's 3 pages of this. I'll tell you when I find these
Okay, so there
guys.
you go. McKinnon's not in the top 100, and he's one of the 2 best players in the league.
Nathan McKinnon ranks 126, again, dating back to the year 2010. So 2010 through now, McKinnon has 14 shootout goals on 44 attempts. He sits at 31.8%. He has the same percentage as Rich Peverly, Alex Galchenyuk,
Former
Jakub
Av.
Voracek, but better than Vlad Tarasenko, Joe Pavelski, a guy who'd think would be a shootout wizard, Sam Gagne. He has a better shootout percentage than Daniel Alfredson. He has a better shootout percentage than Alexander Ovechkin and Mikko Rantanen. So again, it's not a stat that tells you whether or not you are good or a bad hockey player, because like Trevor Zegras, for my money, is not a real hockey player. He is supremely talented at what he does with the puck on his stick, but I wouldn't want him on my team. Nathan McKinnon, statistically, he's half the hockey player Trevor Zegras is when it comes to the shootout, but Nate is a complete hockey player.
Hey, don't look now, but coming into tonight, Trevor Zegras has an assist in his last 3 games. See what Zegras did tonight. Ducks beat the Predators 2-1, and there's actually a reason I'm bringing this up. Yeah, another point, an assist for Zegras tonight. So 4 straight games with an assist for Trevor Zegras. Did you see that highlight that was going around a few days ago of this Anaheim Ducks shift with like just some pretty beautiful passing and just really fluid and unique offensive zone movement, and Trevor Zegras was a part of it. And the reason I bring it up is, remember, somebody threw, some NHL insider, was it Friedman? Someone threw out like Colorado could have been interested in Trevor Zegras, and we talked about it on Between the Pipes. And everyone hated the idea, but don't look now. Zegras is now the Avs don't need him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. No. No.
Look,
No.
he was part of that. Hey, don't give up on Trevor Zegras. Is all I'm saying. I'm not going to.
I will. He.
Oh man, let's go, Trevor. Let's go. 4 assists in your last 4 games.
You guys were upset about how lacking in physicality Mikko Rantanen was, and you guys want Trevor Zegras to play in this place? Are you fucking kidding me?
It would have been funny.
Absolutely, I would stop doing the show. No.
I told you, man, if there's one team, one organization that could resurrect the career of Trevor Zegras, it would be the Colorado Avalanche. Now, look, man, it's obviously didn't happen. You're good.
Why? Why? So you could watch one Michigan goal every 76 games?
I don't know. Look, maybe if the Avalanche had Trevor Zegras, they win the shootout in Minnesota.
Who cares? I've already done the numbers. No one cares about the shootouts. Would you like to hear some fascinating stats from my pregame today?
Fire away.
All right. I have to pull them up because I had deleted them or X'd out of them.
You closed your window.
Yeah. So, as it stands right now, the Calgary Flames sit at 71 points. They trail Minnesota by 8 points for the wild card. The reason why they have stayed afloat this season, sure, Nazem Kadri's got 19 points in his last 20 games. Dustin Wolf has been really, really good for a rookie netminder. Like, excellent. He's one of the main reasons. One of the reasons why Calgary is still in a playoff spot as we speak right now is that they've played in 17 overtime games this year. That is the 5th most in the NHL. Do you know how many overtime losses that they have? They have 11.
Do not.
The most overtime losses in the National Hockey League. They have 11, and it's the reason why they're currently in a playoff spot. The extra point doesn't matter. Just get one. Pants Party goes, since Raj is a boomer, he just like old school stuff. There's no room for fun young guy
Look,
stuff. No, I like fun young guy hockey. I do. It's really, really impressive. But you have to pair it with being an actual hockey player. Zegras doesn't defend. He is not physical whatsoever. And I don't need you to be you guys know how I talk about the game. I don't need you to be Scott Stevens, but I need you to be quick to contact. And he is contact averse. Guys, he's in no world would I touch that player in Colorado. No, absolutely not.
well, I mean, just know, Raj, that when I hear that Trevor Zegras is, leading the NHL in shootout percentage, that my radar goes off and I see an opportunity to just fuck with you.
I know, and I hate it.
And
Don't
I
speak
have a
this thing into
narrative.
existence.
I have a narrative that I like that dude for reasons that, aren't necessarily about winning hockey games, but just my own personal entertainment. I appreciate Trevor Zegras. Now, look, man, if the Avs win that shootout, hell, if the Flames have more overtime wins, they don't have the Canucks breathing down their necks. If the Avs win that overtime, now they would have needed more than one Zegras shootout goal because freaking Blackwood was a black hole and allowed both of the Wild players, Zuccarello and Boldy, to score against them. So even Zegras couldn't have saved the Avs from that. Had the Avs, though, gotten both points, then my scenario I presented a few days ago would have played out true and through. Sunday's Avs Stars game would have been for a tie at 86 points. Now, Dallas would still have at least one game in hand. I don't have the standings up right now, but I know Dallas has at least one game in hand on Colorado. In fact, they have two. They have two games on hand, but the Avs would have tied him at 86 points. Nonetheless, we get the next best thing. The Avs can move to within 1 point of the Dallas Stars. The Avs can get to 85 points as long as it's a regulation win. And the Stars would remain at 86. The Avs would be 1 point back of Dallas on Sunday if they get that win.
Fine, I'll give you that. I will give you that. But we can all, the way that we can devolve into this type of conversation, you know how this conversation ends? You should be 82-0. That's how this conversation ends. It just spirals into that. Well, if you didn't get the 1 point, you should have gotten 2 points. And then you should have gotten 2 points, you should have won in regulation, or you should have lost that game. You should have it ends at 82-0 is how that conversation ends.
Yeah. No, I was just, it would have been fun if they could have outright tied Dallas from a points perspective. Forget the games in hand.
I agree.
But no, I mean, either way, it goes to show, man, that even with, forget all of the bullshit that we've said in the past some odd minutes. It goes to show that they have a chance. The Avalanche have a chance to be 1 point back of Dallas on Sunday evening. When that game is all said and done, the Avs can be 1 point back of Dallas with about a month to go. And, I talked about the Avs schedule a show or two ago. It's an easier schedule for Colorado down the stretch. Getting home ice in this 2-3 matchup with the Stars is a very real possibility, and getting the head-to-head win over Dallas, now it won't matter for a tiebreak perspective, but to steal those 2 points from Dallas yourself and earn those 2 points, in your own right, that could go a long way. Sunday's game really ultimately, when we look back at the end of the season, who's home ice in the 2-3 matchup, Sunday's game really could be what it comes down to.
So Dallas has this remaining as their schedule. They have Colorado on Sunday. They get Anaheim, who, it's funny that we're talking more about the Anaheim Ducks again on this show somehow. Anaheim's creeping towards 500 right now. Like, Anaheim's not going to make the playoffs, but they're building some really good things. I think Anaheim's going to be a sneaky team to watch next year.
That's Tampa our new Bay. Vancouver.
It is. Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, outside looking in, they're probably done. Minnesota, playoff team. Edmonton, playoff team. Calgary, as of right now, playoff team. 2 games at Seattle, who are not going to make the playoffs this year. Nashville, garbage. Pittsburgh, garbage. At Minnesota, playoff team. Against Vancouver, maybe a playoff team. As of right now, they're on the bubble. Home against Winnipeg, who they just lost to and had no chance this evening. Home against Utah on the playoff bubble, just one win out of the 8th seed. And then at Detroit on the East Coast playoff bubble, and they finished the season at Nashville. It's a little bit harder of a road than Colorado's. It's not you don't have to go through the gauntlet if you're Dallas, but it is slightly harder than Colorado. Spring, I have an answer to your Cale Makar question. This is going to shock you. It shocked me.
All right, let's go.
Cale Makar has played in 23 NHL games that have gone to a shootout. He has only participated in 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
He has 1 goal in 4 attempts.
25%? Not bad.
I'll take it.
Not bad.
I'm fine with that. 25% is good. That's a solid power play.
You know, that remaining Dallas schedule, it's similar to the Avs remaining schedule. So okay. But look, man, this Dallas Stars result tonight, and we talked about this. The Dallas, they last played on Sunday in Vancouver. So they've been chilling in Canada, flying from Vancouver to Winnipeg. That's not that long of a flight. They had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. They had 4 days off. And they come out tonight and they trail 3-0 heading into the third period. In fact, they were down 4-0. And then Mason Marchment scored a whatever goal to make it 4-1, a thanks for coming goal. And I know Winnipeg's had a good regular season, but you had 4 days off. And you didn't do a damn thing, essentially, in this game. So, their one win was in Vancouver against a Canucks team that I think, has just had a lot of drama this year, had to trade JT Miller. We'll see how this group gels and how the chemistry comes along. Now, I think ultimately it will because there's a lot of talent there. But it got off to that's a bad start tonight. This really was the clean slate, fresh start. You had 4 days off. Here you go. And you laid an absolute egg in this game. Mikko Rantanen, just 2 shots on goal, played 18 and a half minutes. I don't know, man. We'll see.
What are your thoughts on what's going to happen on Sunday? Do you think he gets booed? Do you think there's a couple of guys that throw a couple of hits on him? Maybe it won't be a guy who's played with him for a long time, but does Ryan Lindgren throw a hard hit into him? Does Charlie Coyle or Brock Nelson try and put a lick into the guy?
Well, look, I've said I wouldn't boo him. Because
I don't think he's going to get booed.
One, the Avs, I think, won the saga. They won the Mikko Rantanen saga. They're a better team than had they had Mikko. And 2, Mikko is an Avs legend. The fact that he Kreckman said today on Kreckman and Lindahl that Rantanen, he didn't score a goal in the Cup final series against Tampa that went 6 games, but he led the Avs in points, I think, with 8 assists it was. He was an integral part to a Stanley Cup run. 10 years, was on the 48-point team. His teammates did like him. So for all those reasons, I wouldn't boo him. Now, that being said, and also I just think it's classy. Be the bigger man, be the bigger person, tip your cap, take the higher road. That being said, I understand how drunk fans get, especially hockey fans. And much like these goobers I hate who start the wave, there's going to be one guy who thinks it's cool and funny to boo Mikko Rantanen. And there's going to be other goobers who are like, oh, that's fun. I want to do that. And they're going to boo too.
I think most of the fan base at Ball Arena will give him a positive reception because of and people are thinking back to Ryan O'Reilly and Matt Duchene. Ryan O'Reilly and Matt Duchene, while there are similarities, right, between O'Reilly wanting more money and then eventually being traded, and Matt Duchene not leaving because of money, but leaving because he didn't see the the playoff future and the championship future here in Colorado. He famously just wanted to play playoff hockey, and Matt bet on he just bet on the wrong timeline, right? He left, Colorado gets to the playoffs, they go 5 straight years and then 3 straight years of going out in the second round, they win a championship. He never gets one up to this point in his career. O'Reilly leaves, he eventually finds his way to the Blues, they win a championship, he gets a Conn Smythe. So the similarity between O'Reilly and Rantanen is right there. Between Duchesne and Rantanen, not so much. The one thing that separates Duchesne and O'Reilly from Mikko Rantanen, and they are here while Mikko Rantanen is here. 96 brought you a championship. He was and Spring said it, one of the most important reasons why you won a championship and why you went 16-4. He's the 55 goal scorer. He will go down as, by the time he retires, likely the third best Finnish player ever to play the game of hockey outside of Teemu Selanne and Jari Kurri. There's a chance that he could be regarded higher as Jari Kurri because Kurri just, sat on the wing with Wayne Gretzky for all those years. That remains to be seen 8 years from now. He is a shoe-in Hall of Famer. He was amazing while he was here. He and his camp bet on himself and bet on his value, and it seemed as though they lost out on that, and then they panic signed the same deal that they got offered here in Denver. I think it will be overwhelmingly positive because that's kind of what Denver is. They cheered Nolan Arenado, man. When Nolan Arenado came back, he was cheered originally. Duchesne still gets a little bit of booze, but it's different. Duchesne never delivered a championship. O'Reilly never delivered a championship. Mikko Rantanen did, right? He gave you what he wanted. There might be a chance where, I don't know, he might get booed when he touches the puck. But I think when they show the highlight montage in the first period for him, it will be a overwhelming positive reaction to Mikko Rantanen, as it should be. Now, if you want to boo him every time he touches the puck after that, whatever. You're a fan. Go ahead.
Well, and I'll reference this comment here that I put up on the screen. And will we be able to tell the difference between a boo and a moose? Are you saying
Good point.
boo or boo earns? I was saying boo earns. Yeah, let me know. Raj, you'll be there. Let me know. And everyone, I want you to take a good look at your neighbor's mouth, at your neighbor's lips. Do you see a buh or do you see a muh? Because seriously, it could be either one. Those are going to be strikingly similar, whether it's a boo or a moose. I don't know. I don't know which one it's going to be. It'll probably be moose. I mean, yeah, I think playing a video package will help lighten the mood too. Get people, give them a good reminder, like, oh, hey, yeah, this guy did some awesome things for us. Maybe I should be supportive of this guy in this moment. Look, the sad thing, though, it's sad for Mikko because he wanted to stay here. He was shocked. He was disappointed that he got traded. He thought that the Avs would meet his and or his agent's number. And then he ultimately gets the same deal. So, if you're Mikko Rantanen, there has to be a part of him. There has to be that is damn it. I gambled. I trusted my agent, thinking I could get $13 to $14 million, and I end up getting the same freaking deal. Although I suppose the one thing I can't explain is that Carolina may have offered him somewhere around $13 million, and he just hated Carolina for some reason. I don't know. So it was a weird saga. But nonetheless, like I said, Avs won the saga, and he's an Avs legend. He's an Avs legend no matter what.
And I don't think he wouldn't turn into, the only way he turns into heel, right, is if he becomes the Matt Duchesne level of Avs killer, right? Because Matt Duchene, every time he plays the Avs, he finds a way to score. And there was none bigger than last year in double overtime, right? The heartbreaker celebration. Matt Duchene turned into a thorn in your side in big time games. And that's the only way that I think Rantanen could become like a true villain is if he scores against Colorado multiple times, not just this game, but he becomes a reason why the Avs don't advance out of the first round this year. Like if he's the main reason why Dallas somehow beats you in round one, then he becomes a villain. I don't know if he's ever going to become a villain because he'll do something cheap or he'll hit somebody or stir some stuff or he'll say some negative things in the media. I don't anticipate that happening. I do think Mikko likes to be liked. And I think that's very clear from the offseason stuff with Arturi Lekkonen's dad. And like Mikko enjoys being someone who has a good positive rapport, not only with the media, but with his teammates and with the fan base as well. I don't see him being a villain in that standpoint. The only way that he could become a true villain, is if he is successful with Dallas against Colorado. He can be successful with Dallas against anyone else. But if he fails against the Avs, you'll just look back at him fondly and you'll go, what could have been?
Yeah, he's not gonna lay any dirty or cheap shots because he's not that player. We talked about this for years. He's not that physical lay the hit players, so he's not gonna lay any dirty hits or anything like that because he doesn't want the contact in the first place. So that's not gonna happen. Now he's a little bit of a chirper. He got a little sassy with Ismo Lekkonen. He chirped Georgiev. We remember that. Mikko's got some sass to
Yeah,
him.
rightfully so. That guy was terrible.
Mikko will bark. I've seen him bark a number of times on the ice. And if he scores a big goal on Sunday, and maybe not even on Sunday, because there's going to be a ton. We are going to see a ton of these Avs Stars games. Mikko versus the Avs for years to come. So it's just a matter of time, whether it's Sunday or down the road. It's just a matter of time until Mikko Rantanen scores a big goal against the Avs. And a lot of times when Mikko scores, he's pretty nonchalant about it. But I have seen times where he gets fired up. And I think the first big goal he scores against the Avs, he's going to fist fucking pump.
Yeah, he will.
He is going to be juiced. I can see him now. And I could see some Avs fans being like, okay, now it's on. Now it's on.
We'll have to see. 1:30 on Sunday, 1 p.m. pregame show on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. That game will be nationally televised on HBO Max and TNT as well. If you have the ability to get a ticket and get into that building, man, I think it's just as enticing as a playoff game. And you guys know how expensive playoff tickets can get. This one, while it will be expensive, because a lot of people will want to go to it, will not be nearly as expensive as a playoff game. So if you want to get that feeling this year, I would hop on Ticketmaster and try and get yourself in the building, man. I really would.
Hopefully it goes better because now you're reminding me the only other game we've had like that this season in in this fall, winter, spring Nuggets Avalanche season was a couple-ish weeks ago when Luka Doncic came to town.
Yep.
And it was the hottest ticket in town. And the prices were insane. The result was not good. So hopefully this one's better.
I think it's going to be hard-hitting, physical, fast. I think it's going to be chippy and mean. It will be as close to playoff hockey as any game that remains on the NHL schedule. Not just for the Avs, not just for the Stars, for the entirety of the National Hockey League. I think this will be the single hottest contested game until the playoffs start 2 weeks into April. Spring, it's going to do it, man. Avs win 4-2 over the Flames. We'll see you guys sometime around 4 p.m. or so, maybe a little bit earlier on Sunday. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day weekend. Drink some green beer. Have a great time. Hug your neighbors. If you're drinking out during the day, for the love of God, do not get behind the wheel of a car. Call an Uber. Call a friend. Sleep on a couch. We can't wait to see you guys out there at Ball Arena on Sunday. Spring, good night, and think about what you're going to do when Mikko Rantanen shows up to town on Sunday afternoon.